Azure Virtual Networks, Private Subnets presented by Christian Ziaja. Welcome to our deep dive into Azure Virtual Networks and Private Subnets. Today, we'll explore how to create secure, isolated environments for your Azure resources. Hi, in this video, we'll cover the essentials of Azure Virtual Networks and how to use private subnets to enhance your network security. Azure VNets are the foundation of your private network in Azure. They allow you to securely connect Azure resources, such as virtual machines, databases, and more. Within a VNet, you can create subnets. Subnets are segments of the VNet's IP address space that help organize and secure your resources. Think of them as smaller networks within your larger network. Within Azure, the subnet can be defined as a private subnet or standard subnet. The main difference is that standard subnets have default outbound access. It allows VMs to connect to the internet without additional configuration. As shown on the whiteboard, the VM in violet subnet can communicate with internet. On the contrary, a private subnet does not have default outbound internet access. This means that virtual machines, VMs, in a private subnet cannot connect to the internet unless an explicit outbound method is configured, as shown on the whiteboard in red subnet. The setup with private subnet enhances security by preventing unintended internet access. To enable internet connectivity, you need to use methods like a NAT gateway, public load balancer with outbound rules, user-defined route table forwarding traffic to Azure Firewall. Private subnets are ideal for workloads that do not require direct internet access, such as internal applications, databases, and backend services. Let us see how it works in practice. To create a private subnet in the Azure Portal, first, navigate to your VNet and click on Subnets. First, let us create standard subnet 10.13.10.0/24. Click Add Subnet, give it a name, and specify the address range. Next, we will create a private subnet 10.13.20.0/24. The process is the same as for standard subnet. The only difference when you create a subnet from Portal is that for private subnets, you must check the checkbox, Enable Private Subnet. Now that we have our subnets, let us deploy a virtual machine in each of them and test internet connectivity. First, VM will be deployed in standard subnet. The example uses Windows Server as operating system, but you can choose whatever system you prefer. The only important setting during VM creation process is to ensure that it does not have a public IP address. Once VM is created, we connect to it using private IP. I'm using Bastion service, but any method will work for instance connection from another VM within the same or peered virtual network. Once logged into the VM, we verify network connectivity by checking public IP address that was assigned to it during outbound connection to internet. We do not control this IP address. It is being assigned automatically by Microsoft. Next, we create the second VM. This VM will be isolated from the internet, enhancing its security by placing network interface card of this virtual machine in private subnet. Once VM is created, we connect to it using Bastion. And finally, we verify that the VM does not have internet connectivity. To summarize, using private subnets is one of the techniques that can enhance Azure Virtual Network security. However, it is important to employ other technologies at the same time to ensure that you are fully covered. It is recommended that additionally the following techniques should be used. Apply network security groups to filter traffic. Monitor traffic using Azure Monitor and Network Watcher. Regularly review and update your network configurations. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more Azure tutorials. Happy networking!